Alright, so as you may know, there is a recent update. Just quite a bit, there is a Lostbelt 3 intro. Just some short one. It's not prepared yet until by the end of late November. I'm not sure why. Yeah, so they introduced just some short intro for Lostbelt number 3 called SIN. And I just skipped over my main account for story since I don't want to reread it again. So this time I will read it on my alternate account, see what's happening in this story, and I can't wait to see what it is. Here we go. How long has it been since I left a colony of survivors? I managed to keep a log for the first 30 days, but now it just feels like I've lost the ability to keep track of time. In my defense, it's hard to count the days when we don't have nights anymore. It all blurs together. I still have no idea how things got to this point, but what I can say for sure is that somehow the sun is shining on every corner of the world at once. With everything bleached white as far as the eye can see, you get numb to time as well as distance. My food and water are starting to run out. Once they do, that'll be it for me. At least, my old motorcycle is still purring like a kitten. I never expected this solar generator to work this well for this long. It's proved you can ride an old motorcycle from Australia to North America, as long as you have a surface to ride on and a solid engine. What are you doing? Annoyed or Genshin? Oh, that's not good. All I drive over seems to be endless white wasteland. No. Maybe wasteland isn't the right word. It's more like pavement without so much as a single crack or seam to be seen. It's nothing like a desert either. There's just nothing here. I don't get even that natural sort of austerity wastelands give off. It's not so much that it seems like life's died out as that it never existed to begin with. Case in point, I've not seen even a single sign of death or decay this whole time. Not a single corpse. No plants, no animals, no insects, not so much as a microbe, I guess. This isn't a dead world. It's an empty one. There's nothing. Not even bacteria to make food spoil. It feels clean. Too clean. Never mind that last bit. I must be more tired than I thought. I'm getting overly sensitive. I can see an unnatural shape just up ahead. Probably more remnants. I think I'll rest there today. Maybe there'll even be some food left, if I'm lucky. Kiki, not bad. Remnants, in this case, are areas that somehow escaped the reset. Or, well, more places that remain in part despite being reset. The colony I left behind was situated in one such remnant. If any satellites were still intact, we might have even been able to find and connect with other survivors. Not that it would have made us any less powerless to fix all this. After all, if that tree were to attack again, humanity would be well and truly gone. Survivors, 0. Signs of people having been here, 1. A single message. No food, sadly, but any port in a storm. Besides, just seeing artifacts of civilization like this again does wonders for my morale, even if it is gutted ruins from a brutal invasion. I shrug my shoulders as I sit down on what used to be a sofa. The shrug is just a desperate ploy to convince myself I'm calm, but strangely, it still helped. I play back the only message data to be found. It is essentially the same as all the others out there. I'm scared. I'm scared. I'm scared. Run away. Run away. Run away. It hurts. It hurts. It hurts. Why? Why? No, no, no. Help me. Help me. Help me. Please forgive me. There it is again. Why? Why were these people attacked? Why were they erased? I did my best to recall that day calmly and objectively. The year when Earth fell into invaders from another world. David. Was that from Archer or was it a different one? Truth be told, we had to have time to prepare. Maybe it was only 12 hours, but it was still time we could have used. On that New Year's Eve, we lost every satellite around the world in an instant. In consequence, we were not able to observe a single cosmic ray even as the whole world was reduced to a blank, dust-gray sphere. I know now that it was a membrane in the sky, a dome of sorts made by the tree's branches that was placed over the entire world. But we weren't exactly in a position to sit down and take stock of what happened on that day, not with all the crazy things going on. 12 hours later, Armitage dawned. A total slaughter, a massacre on an unimaginable scale. Uncountable tree things descended on the earth like so many tentacles from space. They crawled across the world, finding and exterminating all forms of life, with unerring accuracy and unnerving tenacity, killing almost every human on the planet over the course of 3 months. After that, the trees just disappeared, returning to the sky and leaving behind a blank, desolate world. Even now, thinking about it makes me tremble. Not at the revelation that aliens really did exist, not even the realization that our world, our civilization, had been erased and would never return. No, what scared me was those trees' tenacity, the way they extended their branches to destroy a person's heart with a single stab. Upon their death, people were instantly turned to dust, their agonizing screams still echoing around them. There were no exceptions. Even though these aliens possessed weapons of mass destruction large enough to blot out the sky, they chose not to use them. Instead, they went out of their way to erase billions upon billions of people one at a time. They were like some kind of twisted artisan burning with perverse passion for their craft. Those of us who did survive, like myself, only managed to do so by being in hidden underground facilities at the time. Dizziness starts to overwhelm me. Maybe I've been under a bit more strain than I realized. I'll just rest up here for today. Tomorrow, I'll set back off on my journey of wishful thinking. I may not have much food left, but assuming I've stayed on track, I should be at my destination soon. It's the last place any of our satellites caught on camera. The only place in this whole world that hasn't been wiped clean. An area in southern Nevada. That's right. My destination is the Air Force base known as Area 51. Signed, David Blue Book. David Blue Book. Interesting. Intro point 3-2. Let's see. We're just getting started to the intro of SIM. Just a short one.
Did we drive into the whole other world when I wasn't looking? It was nothing but clear skies as far as the eyes could see just a moment ago. Now, I've got an announcement of my own. I estimate the border has about an hour until it sinks.
Yeah, just one problem. There's no land to go back to. We're smack in the middle of the North Sea. Da Vinci, can we still initiate a zero sail here? Surely that must be preferable to sink into our debts.
We can't. The formulas won't be stable enough on water. We have to rewrite the software from scratch.
Hang on, we're getting a call. Go ahead and open up a line, Mr. Minuine. And hurry, Da Vinci's no use to us right now. Right, honor.
CQ, this is the Wandering Seas dock. Do you read me? That vessel, that would be Chowder's ship, right? No, wait, not a ship. Oh, I see. A tank. Rational, yes, very rational. A ship is unnecessary for a zero sail. But I say, you have no sense for design. It might as well be a large metal coffin. Nothing charming there at all. Be honest, you would never have made it back without my paper moon, would you? Still, a fine job making it all the way here. Everything is proceeding within my calculations.
It's coming from the Wandering Sea. But where?
Where? Right in front of you. Oh, hang on. Let me clear the fog. Should be easier to see then. Proceed on your current course, though you may want to reduce your speed. And be sure to give thanks. Alright, this will be the first time in over 2,000 years that this island has revealed itself on a day other than December 31st. Welcome to Primordial Magecraft Workshop, the Baldanders of the Wandering Sea. My name is Sion Eltnam Solkaris. I am a Spiritron hacker who escaped to the Wandering Sea when I predicted that the world was about to end. I have been waiting for you. Being the Atlas Institute last remaining member, the Wandering Sea higher-ups entrusted me with the project of righting this bleached earth problem.
Okay, I know that was just a minute ago, but...
Foo-foo!
Well, we followed the directions that bizarre transmission gave us right to this lump of rock. Now, can you tell me what this is about, Da Vinci? I'm glad the border isn't bobbing around like a damn cork. But have we been sinking these last few minutes, or haven't we?
I have the same question. It seemed to me like the border sank underwater before it emerged on the surface.
Don't look at me. I didn't do anything. Once we got to those rocks, it felt like the currents kind of carried the border the rest of the way.
Looks like. I tried to steer us, but the currents were just too strong. The border sank about 40 meters, but then popped up a good 30. I think we must have gotten into the Wandering Sea from underneath, since I didn't exactly see a front door. Perhaps that is how they go about talking ships here, or how they keep ordinary ships away. Sounds right to me. I just wish she'd given us a little heads up.
Does this mean we're at the Wandering Sea's docks?
That would appear to be the logical conclusion. The issue at hand, however, is...
Are we sure this is the Wandering Sea? And how do we know it's safe outside? Menue! Fire up every sensor we got! I want to know everything going on outside the border! Roger! But I've, already been doing that. I'm not picking up anything at all. Not a damn thing!
Testing. Can you hear me over there? I'm afraid the Wandering Sea cannot be observed by any means created by or relying upon science. Not even partially. I would give up on trying to see what is going on outside the hunk of metal you have been riding around in. None of your sensors will see anything here. Besides, danger is a no-no here, and there's no way there would be anything wrong with my calculations. Right now, this is the most peaceful, happiest, scariest island in the whole world.
How can it be peaceful and scary?
At any rate, come on out, visitors! I did not open up my darling secret base today just so you could hole up in that big metal box of yours. Well, what should we do now, everyone?
Since our sensors are blind, someone's gonna have to take one for the team and poke their head outside. I nominate Holmes. Agreed. You can always use your Baritsu if things get dicey.
Unfortunately, I'm afraid I actually can't use Baritsu just yet. At this point, I dare say you could outfight me, Director.
Good point. Holmes is going to need more time to recover from the injury he sustained in Scandinavia. So then, as the only combat-ready servant here, I should be the one to...
I think we'll be okay, Mash. Come on, let's go.
Right. I was just thinking the same thing, Master. Foo-foo! Well, then I'm coming too. I'm way too curious to just stay on the border. Friend or foe, the Wandering Sea is still a mystic among mystics. No way would I pass up a chance to check out the place that still has mystics from the Age of Gods.
You're better off not getting mixed up with those places if you ask me. They even say the clock tower is an inhospitable hell when you get right down to it. I see you plebs know your place, in your own way. You're quite right, Menue. One should never move past one station to peer into the secrets of magecraft, or the organizations that keep them. The moment you do, you'll be so shocked by how vastly they overpower you that you may find yourself be bedridden and half mad for a month. It's all risk and no reward. Curiosity isn't what killed the cat. It was fear. However, as we humans are not cats, it is possible to overcome those fears, much like I did. Mass Killer, Frost. I hereby authorize the two of you to investigate whatever lies outside. Once you're certain that there's no danger, call for me right away. Oh, and try to stick close to the border, would you? You should be no more than a 5-second sprint from here at the most. Roger that.
Alright, I'm going to open the border's port hatch now. Are you ready, Master? All set here. I've got your backs. I may not be much use in a fight, but I can make damn sure nothing gets by my defenses. Thank you, Da Vinci. Open the hatch. Now! Ooh. It's incredible! Wow, this place is amazing! Look, Mash, look, so fast! Oh, this is like top shelf secret space stuff. It's like a picture book come to life. Whoever designed this must have been such a dummy. Thanks for the kind words. I must be doing pretty well if the great Leonardo da Vinci, famous genius and notorious problem child, would speak like that about me. Wait, is that really Da Vinci? Isn't she a little off? Too girly? Just a little too high spec? Hey, you there, Master Frost. Is that girl there really and truly Leonardo da Vinci? I sure am. I'm a Da Vinci backup unit made by the one and only Leonardo da Vinci herself. What about you? Are you the girl who contacted us? Oh, right. I was so surprised by Da Vinci here then that I forgot my manners. Cut and take two. I am Scion Eltnam Solkyrus, an alchemist here to mess with you guys on behalf of the Atlas Institute. Oh, I also made Trismegistus and the paper moon you were manhandling just a few minutes ago. So I am here to collect damages you owe me for copyright infringement. It totals to about $790 million. So, yeah, you guys are boned. Whatever humans' rights you think you had are gone. Do you know what this means, Frost? It means I owe you. Lock, stock, and barrel, baby. So, mind just signing this contract here for me? I hereby confess to using Miss Scion's intellectual property without express permission. I also absolutely saw the end of humanity and such. Therefore, until repayment of said aforementioned unrepayable debt, I, Frost, do hereby offer up the following: my body, my soul, and each and every one of my worldly possessions, past, present, and future, throughout the universe, to Scion. There you go. Mind just signing here, here, and here. Initial there too. Say, mind being modded? Are you into mecha, bioengineering, a mixture of both? What the heck? We can just throw them all in. Do not worry, it will not hurt at all.
Wait. What?
Just kidding. You do not owe me anything. I was only messing with you. Besides, I was using old using old Zimbabwean dollar values, so you could totally have paid it back anyway. Foo. Sorry, I might have gotten a little carried away there. You will have to forgive me. I have never actually done this before. I know I sort of struck first, so to speak, when I contacted you earlier. So I was being all formal to try and put you at ease. But as you can see, I am not really like that. Just your everyday, mild-mannered alchemist here.
That makes sense. You spoke so fast, I didn't realize it right away. But there's no way anyone from the Atlas Institute would be so quick to pull out a contract. I see. An advanced technique designed to better break the ice during our first encounter. I get the feeling she's not one for lying.
Alright, let me introduce myself again. My name is Scion. Welcome to the Wandering Sea, Chaldeans. Leonardo da Vinci, Mash Killer, Soapfrost, and... I did not see that animal mentioned in any of our data. I wonder if he is someone familiar. I can sense a modicum of intelligence from it, like an AI that just started learning. Oh well, no problem. I already have a pretty good idea of who you guys are. I have not seen what has become of the outside world myself, but I do know what happened to Chaldea on the first day of 2020.
You haven't seen the outside? Does that mean you have no immunity to atmosphere?
Oh no, I am completely healthy. You have to be in good shape to use memory partition at a halfway decent level after all. I just meant I did not have a need to go outside. Sorry for the misunderstanding, Mash. So, who is in charge right now? From what information I have, it should be Da Vinci here. But given she has the whole kid thing going on, I assume that is no longer the case. I must have a gap in my information somewhere. Better get that sorted.
Heh, I'm impressed you pick up on that. You look like a girl, and it would seem that you are, in fact, something of a girl. Indeed, the master/amateur mage, the demi-servant girl, and the capable technical advisor are merely my subordinates. Who am I? Why, you surely not to ask. Oh, right, okay. I am Chaldea's new director, and the man who will one day resurrect the golden age of the prestigious music estate. Gorda Music! I see you're surprised that I'm still alive. I know that crest and that uniform. It would seem you truly are a mage of the Atlas Institute. That means it should have been absolutely trivial for you to predict the terrible tragedy that befell my Chaldea with your fancy parallel thought acceleration. I am keenly aware of how I fell for Kanyanskaya's devious scheme, and so inadvertently allowed the cryptors to carry out their plan. No doubt I was the first one to be killed off in Atlas prognostications, I guess. The quickest way to ensure a plan's success is to take out your opposition genius commander, after all. But, as you can see, I survived. For no matter how poor the road conditions, how dire the weather, or how far beyond I may be, I will never retire before the race is over.
Ah, you are Gorda, right? I am not surprised you are still alive, given your specs.
Huh? You're not?
Your odds were not great, but they were also not zero. I figured you would make it out of there as long as you had solid help and backup. No, it was the servant behind you that surprised me. Would you mind telling me your name?
Yes, I do beg your pardon. I was preoccupied with keeping our new director safe, since he insisted on venturing out to see what was going on for himself. What's with your smug look, Sherlock? I am Sherlock Holmes, a ruler. As you are the successor to the great Atlas Institute, I trust that is all the introduction you need.
Wait, you already know who I am? Even for a famed detective, it seems just a little suspicious that you already know that much about me.
Elementary, my dear Miss Scion. Your middle name, Eltnam, tells me all that I need to know. From there, all I need to do is contrast your behavior with our current situation, and the answer all but presents itself. BS, you're just quoting from her file. Now, don't go giving the game away, Mr. Soapfrost.
You touched Tri-Hermes. Ah, now I see. This must have been during the 6th singularity. I read about that in the report to the Major Association. So, you managed to touch Tri-Hermes directly without losing your mind, huh? Really now? No wonder you are the pinnacle of intelligence among servants. You and I are going to get along just fine. Come on, Scion.
Oh boy. There is a reference of that JP version. Oh my gosh. I forgot what's her name, but I don't want to spoil it in JP version, so I can wait it for like 2 years.
Come on, Scion. How much time are you going to waste talking? You want me to give the ship a tune-up, right? Hurry up and get the crew up ready. What? Do I have something on my face? You're kind of rude, aren't you?
Oh, right. Sorry about that.
You don't have to apologize. I already know humans are rude. It's in your nature.
All that magical energy. Are you a servant? Does this mean the Wandering Sea is also capable of summoning servants?
Yeah, I snuck a peek at Chaldea's system, came up with my own take on it, and somehow managed to summon a single servant. I needed someone who could watch my back, and also make sure I would not break it. I mean, I could draw up blueprints all day on my own, but what good is that if nobody actually builds any of it, right? I'm still amazed that you managed to summon heroic spirits somewhere besides Chaldea. Hello there, servant from the Wandering Sea. My name is Mashkirlet. May I ask who you are? You don't have to tell me your true name. I'm no one. I don't have a name. If you have to call me something, just call me Nameless. Now, get everyone out of here, Scion. I can't call everyone else with all these people in the way. This is painful to look at. It's worse than watching coral reefs die. What happened to this ship? I can hear it crying in pain. I need to fix it now, before I go insane. Whoops! Looks like someone got up on the wrong side of bed today, huh, Captain? Oh well, guess I'm unable to blame you, since you are even shinier than me. So. Captain, is that some sort of joke? Are you mocking me? Well, what else can we call you? Would you prefer Prince? Fine. I guess Captain works since we have more guests now. At least it's better than Prince.
It would seem you added something to that servant spirit origin. Am I correct, Miss Scion?
Yeah, a phantom spirit. Why can't I summon a decent heroic spirit without mass shield? You understand? Since I was missing powerful holy relics like that, I had to make do with whatever I could scrounge together to make this spirit urgent. But do not ask me to reveal his true name. That is something a servant should choose to do. Once Captain trusts you guys, I am certain his identity will become clear. Anyway, right now, it is just me and Captain here. I promise there's nobody else around, so feel free to bring the rest of the Shadow Borders crew along. I have prepared a room for the staff where they can relax and rest up, but I'm afraid I will have to ask all of you to join me for a little longer. I can imagine how exhausted you must be and would love to sleep in a proper bed, but that must wait. This is just the entrance, see? Come on, I will take you to the command room.
Right. Wow, this looks amazing. Wow!
Ooh!
It's Chaldea's command room?
Yeah, I see how you could make that mistake, Selfrost, but a mistake it would be. Chaldea's command room was actually modeled after this place. This is a masterpiece I have been assembling day and night for the last 3 months, ever since I first came to the Wandering Sea. I call it Spiritron Calculation Engine Trismegistus 2. A perfect reproduction of the Trismegistus I lent to Chaldea, and the new brains of your operation. You don't say. You said you've been assembling it, so that must mean you brought the necessary materials along with you when you came here. Between the paper moon and all this groundwork you've been laying, you're obviously no ordinary mage. Scion Elknam Sokiris. It looks to me like you know even more about Chaldea than we do. Yeah, A lot of what I know comes before Chaldea really even got off the ground. As you know, the pseudo-future and calculation engine Tri-Hermes is the heart of the Atlas Institute. My father, the head of Atlas at the time, was supposed to create Tri-Hermes' sister unit, Trismegistus, before its development was handed off to me. I proposed using paper moon-based zero sails as a method for sending people into the past. Well, into singularities anyway. But Chaldea's first director, Maurice Beery, had a different idea for a more reliable method. His proposal was a process he called ray shifting that involved transmitting physical bodies as spirotrons. It was a more proactive approach, given that it was closer to the Atlas Institute prognostication. Not exactly the most cautious proposal, also, but the fact that a mage like him was willing to reveal his most secret arts like that spoke volumes. I mean, if word had gotten out that an Animal Spear family, one of the 12 o'clock tower lords, was sharing technology with Atlas, it would have meant war with the other lords, leading ultimately to the end of the Animal Spears. Director Murray's understood the seriousness of the risk and chose to act anyway. So the Atlas Institute decided to accept Chaldea's request, out of respect for the risk he took. Of course, none of the other lords ever did figure out what Murray's was up to, so it ended up not really being a thing. Anyway, you all know what happened next. We provided Chaldea with Trismegistus, which enabled Chaldea to complete Chaldeas. And the Chaldea Security Organization went on to do what it was intended to. I am certain you all know more about Chaldea's actual exploits than I do. We were just the ones who gave you the tools to get things running.
Indeed, we do know about Chaldea's connection to the Atlas Institute. We do not, however, know about you. How did you survive the reset of the world? And why were you waiting for us here in the Wandering Sea?
Took the words right out of my mouth.
You have a thing for asking questions you already know the answer to, huh, Sherlock? Are you obliged to? Would you die otherwise? I suppose since you are being so meticulous and all, I can go ahead and tell you what you already know. Answer the first. I escaped the reset because I was in the Wandering Sea. The Wandering Sea is like its own little singularity. It is always drifting between the world's textures. That kept us safe even while the world was being wiped clean. Answer the second. I came to the Wandering Sea because I predicted this future. Tri-Hermes collects, organizes, and make records of the tons of data about Earth, just like Chaldea's. It is like a huge sea of information, all there for the taking. For alchemists like us, it might as well be our own primordial soup. I was just taking a little dip in that sea, without my father knowing, of course, when I ended up arriving at that prediction. In short, I was not sure how, but I knew the world would cease to exist in 2020. It was the biggest dilemma of my life, to say the least. I knew I had to do something, so I told my father about my prediction. But that theater reject excuse for a great head of Atlas told me was, I see humanity ending every day. Don't waste my time with trivialities like this. Besides, you discovered this problem, my darling scion. Don't you think you should be the one to solve it? And that was when it really hit me just how understaffed the Atlas Institute really was. Every person there had their hands full stopping some version of the end of the world that they had seen.
Oh.
While I am at it, have a little bonus, answered the third, the moment I'd made my decision. I know I will go to the Wandering Sea. So I took the parts I was using to make Trismegistus 2 and used them to build a Hermes instead, then knocked down the Wandering Sea's front door. By doing so, I secured a safe haven for both myself and future collaborators. 2 birds, 1 stone. I was certain that no matter how things unfolded, Chaldea was going to get knocked out of commission. It would be too important for us, our unknown invader. There are pretty much 2 ways the world can end. Gradually and suddenly. Usually things would go gradually, progressing in stages until the lights go out, so to speak. There are leaders all around the world doing their best to identify those scenarios and keep them at bay. Meanwhile, the sudden types are more like traffic accidents, where everything happens all at once. Nothing much one can do, no matter how smart. For that sort of thing, race shifting was all we had to fight back. And what is happening right now, with the world bleached white thanks to invaders from outer space, is no exception. Thus, anyone meticulous enough to put together a plan like this would never overlook Chaldea, seeing as you were the only ones capable of race shifting. I certainly would not. If I were trying to destroy Earth, Chaldea would be right at the top of my hit list. In fact, taking it out would be my opening move. Sorry, I should have kept that to myself. So, even though I had a base to fight back from, there still was not anything I could do on my own. I mean, I did not know who was attacking or how they would do it. So really the only thing I could do was put my trust in you guys. If these invader things saw you as that big of a threat, I was sure you could prove there was a reason for that. I knew you would survive and you would not give up, no matter how bad things got. So, knowing that you would fight back, my task got a lot simpler. I would make you a new base. I would create a second Chaldea for you and keep it ready and waiting. That was really the only answer I could come up with at the time. And now, even though you had no idea about any of this, you made it here. And that is all I have. Thanks for listening.
Oh. So, you really believed in us?
Ah, stop. You're gonna make me blush. But thanks, Scion. This is probably where the last version of me would say you should have actually gotten in contact with us ahead of time, but... Are you crazy? I am far too shy for that. Besides, if you tell people their future, you end up changing that future and having to come up with a whole new plan from scratch. Exactly. It would have taken time to recalculate, and we almost certainly did not have any to spare. So I decided this was the best course of action. Okay, that makes sense. But that still doesn't explain some things. Like, why are there no other mages from the Wandering Sea here? They avoided a big reset just like you did, right? So why is it just you and Captain now? Oh, they did not think this blank Earth thing was their problem, just as my father did not. No, if anything, they were even worse. They honestly did not care if post-AD humanity lived or died. Right when this whole bleaching this thing started, and the cryptos were giving their victory speech, they said, "You're the ones who should do something about this capitalism. We no longer care what happens to human civilization. We do understand the attackers' ideals, but regardless, we do not share them." Then they just up and left. Oh, but before they did, they also said, "You may invite the mages of Chaldea here if you wish. Feel free to use the Wandering Sea, but only in specified areas. But take care not to enter our workshop. We can't promise you'll survive the experience." Anyway, this place used to be the Wandering Sea's entrance, so it connects to the workshop devoted to bringing back several different ages of gods. Not that that does us much good now, though, since it has that giant stone gate blocking it.
I see. So the Wandering Sea's most prominent figures saw no value in post-AD humanity. No matter, the Wandering Sea's magecraft is magecraft from the Age of Gods. There's no telling how powerful it is. We must find some way to open that stone gate and get them help us. Mr. Gordoff?
Don't be ridiculous, Holmes. You shouldn't even be looking at that gate, let alone touching it. Oh God, it's as if the Academy principal is waiting for me just behind this gate. How can this be happening? That single gate feels as though it could shadow several lords at once.
I don't know what he's on about, but he's clearly more terrified than I've ever seen him. So it may be best if we leave that gate alone. The last thing we need right now is making more enemies. The first order of business is to get the shadow border repaired. As long as we have the working ship, we can leave the Wandering Sea behind whenever we want. I appreciate the offer, Scion, but I'll handle the border's repairs myself. We don't want to impose on...
Hey! Da Vinci! I'm sorry, I tried to hide in the border like you told me to,
but they still managed to find me.
So much for our last bit of insurance. How did you screw up this time, Minue? How could they have found that room when I'm the only one who even knew it existed?
Well, a bunch of them got in the border, and they were really cute, so before I knew it, I was going over to say hello. Wait, no! It's not like that. See, I couldn't have them fiddling with the border and messing things up, so I decided to give them a piece of my mind.
Sorry, you will have to forgive Captain. Fixing up ships is kind of his thing. Anyway, why not hold up on those repairs until later, Da Vinci? After all, there's something else we need to do.
What, like a welcome party?
Oh, we will certainly be doing that. I have tons of questions for you, and tons more I want to tell you. But if we are going to throw a welcome party, there's still something else that comes first. That's right. What you need is a new base and new rooms. So that is what we are going to make right now. Your new Chaldea base.
Awesome. Oh yeah, the Thanksgiving banners here. After that, I was watching on a broadcast. 32.53 megabytes. God damn. There's some banners that is not really intriguing at all. I already got MHX. Oh yeah, I forgot. They actually gave out those the rest of the pass that has cleared for the main quest. Giving out for free. Look at this shit. It's so amazing. How nice is that? Even the evil bones and fangs and shit like that. It's so feels so good. 13 sync quartz. Take everything. Take everything all. Let me see this. What's on the banner? Thanksgiving, yeah. Saber Peace Monument. Boa King. Oh, that's a freaking crap essences. Oh my god, it feels so good. Oh, that's cute. Oh, daily quest. Yes, 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 yes. What is this one? Oh yeah, everything is right rewarded for completing the past of the main quest. How nice and awesome. You save time for stupid shit farming for bad drop rate. Alright, let's see what we have here. So we got Minamoto Musashi, the Saber, A-Star Archer, Shiki Void, Saber, I forgot what's his name, I forgot. Sakata Kintoki, Berserker, MHX, and then there's some like King Ivan, Ivan the King, and Gilgamesh Archer. Yeah, well, there's not much. So starting up with Gilgamesh, and then next up is Sakata Kintoki, Ryuguki Shiki, the Saber version. Yeah, that's cool. I like that. It's kind of rewarding. Oops. Okay, I've seen it already. Alright, intro point 3-3. Feathers, yes. Feathers, so goddamn important. We need it. The extension and skills.
Oh. I'm afraid so. Skathach Skadi has been defeated. and her tree of emptiness is gone, taking the Scandinavian Lostbelt with it. Tragically, Ophelia didn't make it either.
What the fuck, Kadok's there?
Spare to ask the performance, Kanyanskaya. It makes me detest you even more than Chaldea. Oh my! You saw right through me! How embarrassing! And here I was going above and beyond to pay my respect to a fallen comrade by turning underwater works to go with the lip service. After all, Ophelia was one of my most important clients. That jewel-rank mystic eye of hers was a real beauty. Completely wasted on her, though. A textbook example of how one can have too much of a good thing. If she'd only agreed to let me have that eye before it got ruined, I would have done everything in my power to help her stay alive. I see. Well, then I suppose it wasn't a total loss. Just the thought alone of you in possession of that eye is enough to turn my stomach. My, Akuda. I'm surprised to see you grieving over Ophelia's death, given what misanthrope you are. Is this one of those don't know what you got till it's gone things? Or were you always secretly fond of her? Not that it is any comfort to her either way. See, the thing about friendships between girls is, they're all about supporting each other, just as long as there is also something in it for them. It doesn't matter how much she might have disliked me. I was at least there for her, once in a while. I actually tried to help her with her problems, but all you did was sit back and watch. So, where did you get off, suddenly acting like she was so precious to you? You didn't do anything, so you don't get to say anything. Isn't that common sense in human society? Maybe you wouldn't have forgotten that if you hadn't shut yourself away all this time. How dare you talk to me like that, you dirty little fox!
Alright, that's enough, girls. Save it for after we've all been wiped out, okay? Come on, Akuda, honey. You've worked so hard to keep your face as emotionless as possible. Don't let all that effort go to waste. I'm surprised to hear you being so straightforward too, Konyanskaya. You usually play your cards much closer to the chest. I guess it just goes to show how much Ophelia's deaths really hurt the two of you. Ooh, wonderful! I love seeing the man trying to act all cool and stoic, pretending like it doesn't bother them. Look at us, sharing our thoughts and feelings about the dearly departed. It's almost like a real funeral.
Stop that! I don't have any words of condolence for her. I only came here to report on my Lostbelt. I've done that, so I'll be leaving now. Pepe, Kushtaria, just to be clear, I want nothing at all to do with that fox woman. She's not good for anything but toppling nations. Don't you dare send her to my Lostbelt, not even by accident.
Damn, she really did just up and leave. Whatever happened teamwork, huh?
You sure about this, Wodime? Konyanskaya's not the only reason Akuda was pissed. She's furious at the loss of Russia and Scandinavia. If Konyanskaya hadn't given her an easier target, she'd probably have taken her rage out on me. I can almost hear her berating me for being useless. And she'd had every right to.
You know, now you mention it, I think somebody ought to. Why not me? I mean, sure, it's great you made it back here alive after Russia got taken out at all. You're one of us. But here's a question. Why are you still alive, Kadok? It was your servant who wrecked Chaldea, right? They ought to hate you more than any of us. And here you are, without even a scratch. How the hell does that work? Are they seriously that freaking stupid? Or maybe you were thinking about changing sides?
Ha! It's kind of a relief to see you're still a complete asshole, Barrow.
if I'd really gone over to Chaldea, I'd still be stuck in the border trying to choke down that nasty prison slop they serve about now. Trust me, they don't have enough resources to keep anyone non-essential around. I'm just a pathetic loser who managed to escape death thanks to sheer dumb luck. At least for now. I see. A loser, huh? Barrow? I'm just busting your balls, Kadok. All I really care about is that you're still alive. Gotta say though, it's a real shame you and Alpelia had such shitty luck. Then again, maybe it wasn't that so much as Chaldea had good luck. They're certainly not getting by on an actual scale. I really can't get my head around the idiot master still being alive. How the hell does a third-rate amateur like that keep walking away unscathed? He's gotta be either incredibly lucky or just getting carried. I've heard of flattery getting you everywhere, but this is nuts! Well, don't forget that his defenses are perfect. Mash is a servant after all. It only makes sense that a shooter would ensure her master is protected. Well, well. So Mash has been keeping him safe, huh? Now I'm even more jealous. Imagine getting to play hero while hiding behind a piece of ass like that. If we take Konyanskaya's report at face value, then I have no choice but to agree. David, what do you think of Master of Chaldea? Good question. It's hard to believe he's made it this far. As a rule, people going off to war must bring a proven weapon. This isn't something they do to protect themselves, or even to accomplish their mission. They simply do it because they are incapable of moving forward without the assurance that they are able to fight. And yet, the Master of Chaldea continues to fight while fully aware he has no weapon to call his own. He either has no sense of danger whatsoever, or nothing. There's no other possible explanation. He's a total joke of a mage. Hell, he doesn't even really deserve to be called a mage. The only thing he can do is rely on Chaldea's mystic codes to convert his life energy into magical energy for his servants. And since there's no way to do that over a distance, he has to be as close as possible to his servants to manage even that much. He has no way of defending himself, and he's too stupid to command his servants from a safe zone like we can. So he's only got one choice. And that's standing on the front lines like a goddamn moron. And trust me, he's trying like hell to keep from pissing himself the whole time. Konyanskaya, let me make sure I have everything straight. You say that Chaldea didn't defeat Alpelia, but rather that she sacrificed her life of her own accord. You also say that in order to stop Surtur, the fiery king of giants, the one hiding in the Scandinavian Lostbelt before he could trigger Ragnarok, she used her serious light and acted not as a cryptor, but simply as Alpelia.
Exactly, Lord Kustaria. She abandoned her responsibility as a cryptor.
Damn, seriously? What a twist! Guess that means your ass got dumped, Woodine! Man, she was so into you, too. See? This is why I can't stand chicks. You just can't trust them. I confess, I am disappointed. An overestimation of her abilities. Scandinavia was a peaceful Lostbelt, after all, that she could not control even such a place.
Oh, that reminds me, Kustaria. I actually have a little question of my own. You knew about Surtur all along, right? And yet you still entrusted Scandinavia to Alpelia. In fact, weren't you the one who told her to keep Surtur around? If so, something doesn't quite add up. Surtur was the natural enemy of the Scandinavian Lostbelt, you know. Does that mean you left him there specifically so he would destroy it? Is that what the foreign god asked you to do?
Yes, I did advise Alpelia to keep Surtur around. given Scotty's nature, I thought it to be possible that she may sympathize with Chaldea. I suggested she keep Surtur around as a sort of insurance against that eventuality. Sadly, it seems even that was too much of a burden on her. I thought it would have turned out better.
Aha! Now I see! So you were worried Ophelia wouldn't be able to handle it on her own! You always knew what was a weakling she was, even as you kept telling her how much you trusted her. You're a devious one, aren't you, Lord Kustaria? In that case, I'm happy to forget the whole thing ever happened. I'll make sure not to mention this to the foreign guard, or the other alter egos, of course.
I appreciate your faith in me, Konyanskaya, though I always find it worrying whenever you add in bonuses like that. Konyanskaya, you said you lost track of Chaldea around the North Sea. I suppose they could have escaped with a zero sail, but given the lack of resources, I can't imagine they would be willing to do for long. In which case, they must have reached the Wandering Sea. How troublesome. That was the one place the foreign guard couldn't touch, or the place the foreign guard felt no need to bother with, at any rate. And since the mages of the Wandering Sea have no interest in the future of modern mankind, we assumed they wouldn't interfere with our plans. But perhaps our decision to ignore them was a mistake. Huh? Not even a foreign guard could do anything about them? Evidently not, since they clearly avoided being erased. The Wandering Sea is an island unto itself, both part of and separate from the rest of the world. You can't take an erasure to something that already doesn't exist. Anyway, this puts us in a pretty pickle. I have no idea how we find the man now. How about you, Konyanskaya? You can travel between Lostbelts at will. Can you track them down?
I'm afraid not. I may possess independent manifestation, but I can't sneak into the Wandering Sea without knowing exactly where it is.
That makes sense. Then I guess we'll just have to forget about Chaldea for now. Focus on our own Lostbelts and... Not happening, Peperoncino. Between Kadak and Ophelia, they've already taken out 2 of us. We can't ignore this Chaldean remnant any longer. We need to crush them, quickly. Right, Wodime? There's no reason to keep eyesores like them alive any longer than we have to, is there? Oh, come on! Don't tell me you're siding with Pepe on this! You're going to let them get away with this? Then again, I guess you're already pretty much set, aren't you? No one could ever hope to cross that sea of yours, after all. All you gotta worry about is which bottle of champagne you're gonna open after you win by default. But for us mere commoners, this is a matter of life and death. Isn't that right, David? How am I supposed to enjoy my manhunts when I know Chaldea could stab me in the back at any time? Come on, Konyanskaya. This is your jurisdiction here. I mean, there's 3 of you alter egos, so can't you figure a way out to take care of them as part of your job? Oh, great disciples of the foreign guard.
Let me think. Rasputin's team is out fighting a group of proper human history servants in the Grecian seas right now. And I don't know what it is that creepy Animyoji loves about India so much, but he refuses to budge from there. So, I guess I'll have to handle this one myself, even though it's not in my contract. So you want me to get rid of those pesky Chaldeans for you? Oh, alright.
Just like that, huh? Can you really pull it off? I mean, I thought you just said you couldn't sneak into the Wandering Sea.
Oh, don't worry about that. We pros have our ways. That said, eliminating all of them is going to be one expensive job. I doubt you could afford it. So I trust you won't mind if I take a more cost-effective measure.
Oh, what you have in mind?
The important thing is to neutralize the threat Chaldea poses, right? Won't be a problem. They only have one master to spare, after all. So you just sit tight while I go assassinate him before anyone even notices I'm there.
Oh boy.
Looks like Kanyaskaya's warped away again. You really think she went to the Wandering Sea?
Considering that neither the Foreign God nor the Disciples have been able to locate it, I have difficulty imagining even Kanyaskaya will be able to infiltrate it anytime soon. Though, knowing her as I do, I expect she must have some sort of plan to reach her destination. Shit! She can actually warp to the Wandering Sea? And I was just screwing with her! Guess it really does never hurt to ask. But also, where can I get that kind of warping juju? Cause hot damn! Anyway, I know she'll make good on her word. I also like her pick of going the assassination route. Guess I better make sure I stay on her good side from now on. That way, I'll know I'll have a ticket out of my Lostbelt if everything goes to shit.
Why so pessimistic, Barrow? Is your Lostbelt really that horrid?
Let's just say it's all going to plan. Right, Wodime? Oops! I've said too much. Time to go! Later, Gadok. You enjoy that Greek nightlife since you've got nothing to do but live it up. Oh, and save me a few drinks. If I screw up too, we can have a loser's night out on the town.
As if he wasn't treating me like a traitor just a few minutes ago. The worst part is, he meant it. Whatever, this meeting's done, so I'm heading out too. Besides, I only just got to this Greek Lostbelt. You said there's a few different places here, right? I'm gonna check them out while I heal up.
I'm glad to see Kadak doing so well. He's still as angsty as ever, of course, but he's so much more present now than he used to be. It's wonderful! Anyway, I think I'll be going now to Kashtaria, David. This may not be my place to ask, but aren't you two at all sad about Opelia's death?
Good question. I can't say I've spent so much time giving Opelia any real thought from the beginning. But for what it's worth, I do feel her loss.
I see. Looks like I'll be the only one bringing flowers to her figurative grave then. But that's okay. Flowers are the one thing my Lostbelt has plenty of. It may not line up with her beliefs, but I can still hold my own little funeral for her. I'll be sure to add some flowers for you too, Kashtaria, since I've not seen you so much as smile since you sat in that chair.
Your indefatigable possibly never ceases to impress me, Pepe. Let's see. Indefatigable and positively never cease to impress me, Pepe. I'm lucky to have you around. But you need to concern yourself with me. Losing a Scandinavian Lostbelt is no more than a minor setback. That we no longer have a Surtur as a failsafe if things take a turn for the worse was a strategic loss, however. Still, if there's anything I regret. Opelia, we only knew each other for a few years, but I knew you were a kind and gentle woman at heart. Did you see me as some sort of great figure? I will strive to live up to that.
I will end proper human history in order to write a new one and build new truth in its wake. You may try to resist, members of Chaldea, but in the end, it is we cryptos who will prevail.
Alright. Almost done for the intro. 3, 4. So enjoying it? 2 weeks after docking at the Wandering Sea.
Huh?
What the?
What are you What are you doing, Captain? As you can see, I did my best to recreate Chaldea right here in the Wandering Sea. I call it the Wandering Sea Chaldea base. Go on, everyone. I believe a round of applause is in order.
Ooh! Yay! This is an amazing, Senpai. I can't believe Scion and Captain built all this in just 2 weeks.
Indeed, this is quite a contribution to our cause. But then, I suppose this is what the Atlas Institute's brightest can do. I say, you there, you didn't forget about my director's office, did you? The one I ordered with the private bathroom?
Wait. You are the director?
Yes, that's right. I am the captain of the ship, so to speak. I asked for 3 things. A gorgeous director's office, a stylish operations room, and a German-style kitchen. This command room should suffice for operations, and I already verified that the kitchen is up to snuff, but I haven't seen my director's office anywhere. I presume you took my importance and safety into consideration and made it a secure hidden room? That sort of initiative goes a long way with me. You will have a lot to look forward to when it comes to your starting salary, now that you're in my employ.
Crap. I used an empty warehouse for that.
I see. So you used an empty warehouse for my office entrance, eh? I commend you for arranging such an elaborate disguise. But I must say, passing through a warehouse whenever I enter or leave my room sounds like a bother. Tell me, Captain, how would you feel if that was your quarters?
Alright, you convinced me. Anything worth doing is worth doing right. Scion, I'm heading out on another job. I have to make sure everything is perfect. I guess our first 7 summoning with Chaldea Spirit Urgent Graph will have to wait then. Selfrash, Mash, Sir Gordorf, staff members, and of course the 2 servants, Da Vinci and Sir Holmes. Let me first congratulate you on a job well done with all you have accomplished these past 2 weeks. As you saw when you first got here, the Wandering Sea is not exactly the most accommodating place. But that all changes today. From now on, you will each have your own private rooms. No more sharing one big communal space. We also have a cafeteria now, which should be serving proper food starting tomorrow. I have been living on supplements and artificial blood for a long time now, so building a cafeteria was a novel experience for me. Now then, I think it is time for the first Chaldea Atlas Joint Strategy meeting. Oh, but first, do you know what the Atlas Institute is? Or would you like a refresher?
I'm good, thank you.
May I say something before we begin deliberations, Miss Scion? Apart from the fact that you are a survivor of the Atlas Institute, we still know very little about you. For example, what is your motive here? Why are you helping us?
Why? I am not sure I know how to answer that. I mean, when you are faced with a problem, you work to solve it, right? And as far as this particular problem goes, you people of Chaldea are essential to the solution. I thought that was why we decided to join forces and become friends. Wait, does this mean I was the only one who thought that?
Of course we're friends, right?
We are? Great, then we can get down to business.
My apologies. I let my cautious nature get the better of me. I should have remembered that the Atlas alchemists are not motivated by personal gain. Their sole desire has always been solving problems. I do beg your pardon, Miss Scion. Please, rest assured that I am delighted to have gained such a capable ally.
Right then! Shall we get down business? I went ahead and skimmed through your logs from the day Chaldea was attacked until you ended up here. December 31st, 2019. Chaldea is attacked and frozen solid. That same day, 7 pillars of light are seen streaking down from space, and Kushtaria Wodan broadcast his victory speech. Kushtaria used to be a master from Team A, the linchpin of Chaldea's race shift experiment. But now, he refers to the new group he belongs to as the Cryptors. Given that Team A was found to be missing during their operation to unfreeze them before Chaldea was attacked, we can assume that the Cryptors Kushtaria refers to the other Team A members. As for all of you, you undertook a zero sail in the Shadow Border in order to escape the Opportunity. Although you only spent a week inside void space, 3 months had passed when you emerged into standard space. To do so, the border had to rely on your soul connection to standard space at the time, the Opportunity. This led you to the Russian Lostbelt, a frigid alternate history inhabited by the Yaga. As you attempted to gather more information about your situation, you ended up facing off with Ivan the Terrible, the king of the Russian Lostbelt. You then managed to cut down Orochi, the tree of emptiness that had taken root there. I am still working on what these trees actually are. But based on the data about its internal gravitational field recorded during that battle, I think we can make an educated guess. Once the tree was cut down, the storm that had been generated disappeared, and you were finally able to pick up my broadcast from the Wandering Sea. From there, you decided to make a beeline for the North Sea. But on the way, you ran into another obstacle. The Scandinavian Lostbelt, a history stuck in perpetual twilight after Ragnarok went Arwi. When I first saw you had lost the Paper Moon, I might have maybe screamed a little bit, and it was very unbecoming of an Eltnam. So you can imagine my relief when I found out you recovered it! You then went on to face Skadi, the king of the Scandinavian Lostbelt, and were able to cut down its tree of emptiness, Sombrero, an impressive track record. After that, a battered and damaged Shadow Border finally arrived at the North Sea and made its way inside the Wandering Sea. And now, here we are! Did I get all that right? Do you have logs other than the ones on the border?
Yeah, that's alright.
So you have been inside 2 of the Lostbelt now, and experienced their differences from proper human history for yourselves. These Lostbelts are dead-end timelines that were pruned away by human history itself once they were deemed unworthy of being allowed to continue. For example, the Russian Lostbelt diverged from proper human history in the year AD 1570. And it seems that each Lostbelt to appear on Earth has continued from its point of historical divergence on to the present day. However, just because a Lostbelt may have diverged from further back in the past does not necessarily mean it is a stronger. A Lostbelt strength, or threat, really, is not so much a matter of its age, but of how much it differs from proper human history. The Yaga may have been physically different from mankind, but their lifestyle and culture were still carried over from proper human history. But by contrast, the people in Scandinavia may have led peaceful lives, but their society was essentially being kept on life support. So, given what we know from those two, I decided to come up with a metric we could use to rank and compare the Lostbelts. I call it the Lostbelt depth. The greater the Lostbelt depth, the more strongly it refutes proper human history.
So, what was the Lostbelt depth for the 2 we've seen so far?
I went ahead and assigned preliminary Lostbelt depth rankings for all 7 of the Lostbelts. Oh yeah! This makes it nice and clear. You Atlas Institute people really do work fast. As you can see, there are 3 lost belts in Europe, 2 in Asia, 1 in South America, and 1 in the middle of the Atlantic. That last lost belt is the only place on Earth that still has an ocean from before the world was reset. Wait! Cut! Scratch that! I forgot about the Wandering Sea. We still have oceans too, obviously.
Never mind that. Did you say the Atlantic? There can't possibly be a lost belt in the middle of the Atlantic. There's never been an inhabitant in the middle of the ocean in all of recorded history.
Well, they are now. In fact, that Atlantic lost belt is our ultimate objective. That is the one spreading its tree of emptiness branches all throughout Earth's atmosphere. And I have good cause to believe it is where we will find the crypto's leader, Kustaria Wodine. An Atlantic lost belt, huh? In that case, there's only one place I can imagine it could be. Do you think it's really possible, Holmes? This sort of thing is your forte, isn't it?
I can't speak with complete certainty, but if what you are thinking is correct, we will certainly have our work cut out for us. For one thing, we have no means of getting there, as the border is simply incapable of making such a long sea voyage. But there is another, more immediate difficulty. If there truly is a civilization in the Atlantic, it will be much, much older than any of the 4 great civilizations. It will have existed since prehistoric days, a robust, stable world that will have had over 12,000 years to develop.
Come now, man. Don't whip out on me now. Don't whip out on me now. If this lost belt is the greatest immediate threat to us, not to mention Wodine's home base, it is our duty to take the fight to him. The other lost belt can wait. We should be on our way to the Atlantic even as we speak.
I recommend that course of action as well. Unlike Russia and Scandinavia, the storm walls bordering the lost belts in China and India are not expanding, so there should be no danger in leaving them be for a while. Should be no danger in leaving them be for a while. As for the lost belt in Britain and South America, Trismegistus calculates an extremely high probability that they will both self-destruct if left to their own devices. I have not been able to get a proper reading on the British lost belt's depth, but that is just another sign that it is a poor fit for this world. I have been unable to confirm what is going on in there, but compared to proper human history and the foundation of humanity, it is pretty clear that humanity in there is on the verge of collapse. So it is reasonable to assume that mankind in the British lost belt will go extinct within the span of months rather than years. Though I do wonder why the British lost belt is the only one surrounded by a wall of light rather than storms. We saw that on the border too, and came to the conclusion that it'd be best for us to stay away from the British Isles. Last is the South American lost belt. While it appears to have a very high value to its lost belt depth, I cannot seem to get any clear information. So I can only conclude that its civilization is just about dead and gone. And that, in turn, means that even among all these bizarre histories, it is exceptional. And thus, not one we need to concern ourselves with as far as fighting with the others for dominance. So, in short, your next destination is the Atlantic. To that end, we will be making some extensive modifications on the border. And by we, I mean Da Vinci, with me assisting. However, since it would take us at least a month to finish, I would like to invite the rest of you to enjoy a bit of rest and relaxation here in the meantime. That goes double for you, Sir Gordoff and Selfrost. Once we get our operation going, you two will be on the front lines, so you should take advantage of the rest while you can. You will need to get all the rest you can before the final battle in the Atlantic.
A sea voyage in the border, huh?
Heh, as the commander of this outfit, I hardly expect to be out on the front line, but you are right about me having been under considerable stress. Indeed, now would seem to be an excellent time to recuperate. I must say, I have heard that every mage in the Atlas Institute was a cranky old misanthrope, but you've turned out to be a most considerate young lady. It would be the height of rudeness to turn down such a kind offer. Now then, I think I'll begin with a nice hot shower in my wonderful new office. Haha, things are finally looking up for old Goldolf. We'll have the world saved in no time.
Why don't you go rest up too, senpai? I know I can't wait to see what our new rooms are like. Yes, let's go check them out. Man, I'm kinda jealous. But if anyone deserves some free time, it's those two. Anyway, how about us, Scion? Are we going to keep going with the meeting? I should warn you, even you might have a hard time modifying the border. Good point. Your designs appear to have all be similar to magecraft from the Middle Ages, while mine are based on cutting-edge alchemy. We could well end up having incompatible design philosophies. But never mind that. Truthfully, I am much more interested in the exoskeleton. I think you called it the Ortonox. Mash own spear urgent tuning is perfect, but the Ortonox still has a long way to go. I imagine it's pretty difficult for Mash to fight in that. Am I wrong? Well, yeah. I had to build a lot of Ortonox from spare parts from the border that I just had lying around. So, of course it's not perfect. So, what did you want to mess with? You know, there's no way to restore her old defensive power, right? Of course! We could not possibly recreate Galahad's gift with Earth as it is now. So instead, I was hoping you might let me tinker with the bunker bolt mechanism. I mean, it does not have to be right this second, but I have something in particular I would like to add to it before we get to the Atlantic. Before I got pulled onto Trismegistus' development, I was working on a conceptual weapon related to one's natural longevity.
Same room. Same old room. It's just like being back at Chaldea.
Foo! I know, some of the details are a little different, but it's still an amazing recreation of Chaldea's room. Scion and Captain really outdid themselves.
Why don't you go check out your own room, Mash?
Oh, yes, good idea. I was so happy I forgot all about that. Okay, I'll go take a look at the room they gave me right now. We're all done with work for the day, so there's no reason not to relax and enjoy yourself now. Good night, Senpai. I'll see you tomorrow morning for breakfast in the new cafeteria.
Oh man, once I let myself relax, it felt like my exhaustion hit all at once.
Oh?
Stoke? Crap, I'm already awake. Oh, I can't. Come to think of it, I didn't have any dinner. I can hear stomach growling. They said the cafeteria should be ready now.
I can't believe this! The nerve of that Atlas churl! Not only did he not have my director's office ready, he had the gall to tell me to use a sleeping bag at the dock until it was done. Some captain he is. No doubt he's some pirate scum of a heroic spirit. If he thinks he can treat me like... No, this won't do. I can't lose my temper like this. Get a hold of yourself. Be elegant. Breathe from the diaphragm. Just like Thule taught you. Diagram. Captain may try to hide it, but his dignity is unmistakable. No pirate could fake that. But then, who could he really be? I just can't tell. If only I could ask him myself. But I can't do that. A commander must maintain a certain dignity. Ugh! Why can't he just accept that we're allies now and tell us his true name already? Well, I better make myself comfortable since I'll be spending the night here again. Miyue, Kawada, Octavia, Tomlin, Jin, Kayini, Elron, Marcus, Curlet, Subfrost. I see he had no problem remembering to make rooms for all my staff. Well, they may have their cushy beds, but there's one thing I've got that they don't. Midnight snack time! Ha 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 ha! Now then, I think I'll go break into the new kitchen.
He is. Ooh. Between the curling Chaldean spacers, I could see him eating.
I'm not raiding anything. I'm merely having my midnight tea time. You're sharper than you look, aren't you? I never imagined anyone besides me would try to get a jump on the kitchen. Still, I do commend your taste. I presume you were lured here by the sweet scent of butter? Oh, very well then. I've already had my fill. Here, you can have the other half. There's some leftover tea as well if you want it.
That would be great. Thank you. Yummy.
Oh, by the way, is everything alright with you? And with the demi-servant girl, for that matter? Never mind. I can see you must have woken up in the middle of the night despite being utterly exhausted. That can only mean you've been unable to relax your mind amid all that has happened. Well, I can hardly blame you. This must have been an arduous journey for a young man with no military experience. Once you've had some cake and a nice hot cup of tea, you should have no trouble drifting right off. Go back to your room once you finish that, and you'll see how right I am. And of course, I trust that you will join me in pretending none of this happened tomorrow morning. Now that you've eaten the other half of the cake I found here, that makes you my accomplice, after all.
What do you mean by that?
Exactly what I said, of course. I found this cake here with a note that said, for Silkfrost. Heh, don't bother making excuses. Your friends baked it as a part of a master welcome party they'll be throwing tomorrow morning, didn't they? Some nerve you have, lot have, throwing a party and not inviting me. I admit I was pretty steamed when I saw this cake with your name on it, but I calmed down quickly and decided to do the kind thing and taste it for you. Before I knew it, I'd eaten half of the thing. In fact, I was just appreciating how delightfully sweet its cream was when you found me. Now then, are you all finished? Aha! Good, good. This makes us partners in crime.
Director, you look kind of pale.
Huh? Hold on. You mean you didn't know about this cake? Then, who made it? And more importantly, is it just me? Or are we both looking off color? I also can't help but notice that I'm feeling rather cold and dizzy all of a sudden.
Warning! Warning! Unauthorized life form detected. Civilian personnel, please remain in your rooms. Security team, please suit up and come to the command room.
An unauthorized life form? Then we've got an intruder here. What the?
Get back before you get hurt. There's a real nasty woman over there.
Captain? Who is it?
Wow, there's an unpleasant surprise. I'd never thought a grown man would stoop to stealing food meant for a child. In fact, you shocked me so much that I lost control of my present concealment. It seems the one thing you excel at is getting in other people's way. Wouldn't you agree, Your Excellency?
Tamaminovich Konyanskaya! Impossible! How did you get into the Wandering Sea?
Hold up. Run that name by me again?
Trade secret. This was a special trick I'm afraid I could only do once. And now, you've gone and ruined it, Your Excellency. There was only enough poison in that cake for one person. Half a portion means half the effect. I can't believe my plan to poison him without leaving behind any evidence has backfired so spectacularly.
Poison? Poison? Don't be absurd. I gave it a thorough taste test to ensure it was safe. Between the buttery scent, the buttery taste, and the creamy-like texture, it was a perfectly gourmet cake. If it had truly been poison, I would have spit it out on the first bite.
I accounted for that, of course. I made sure to use just enough that not even a mage would notice. I even went to the trouble of mixing it into a delectable cake instead of plain oat water. Just to be doubly certain.
Oh.
Son of a bitch! Well, what's done is done.
Oh god, my stomach's hurt.
And since it looks like everyone else is on their way here now, I think I'll take my leave before things turn violent. I'm sure you have no trouble figuring out what the poison was with Sherlock and Da Vinci here, but that's all you'll be able to do. If you want to actually neutralize the poison, well, you'll have no choice but to fight your little friends to the death again. And that should be quite entertaining in its own right.
Damn it! She's warping away! What are you waiting for, you fool? Hurry up and catch her before she...
It's no use. She's already gone. Never mind her now. We need to get you to the infirmary. Scion, we've got an emergency. Take Da Vinci and meet us inside the border. I'll do my best to cleanse the poison from them in the meantime.
I just got out of the infirmary. Senpai, are you okay? What did the test say?
Calm yourself, Miss Cule. I'll get to that. It's been half a day since Konyaskaya infiltrated our new base. We've done everything we can to treat Mr. Soap. We've done everything we can to treat Soapros and Mr. Gordov. Bluntly, Mr. Gordov has at most 10 days left to live.
Uh-oh.
As for Soapros, this is rather difficult for me to say, but... Difficult as this is to say, he is essentially fine. The poison remains in his system, but it will have no more effect than a bad cold.
A cold? Even though it's fatal for Director Gordov?
That can't be right! We both ingested the same amount of poison!
Yes, but thanks to his contract, Miss Cule, Mr. Soapros has a rather potent resistance to poison. If that contract were to be broken, he would most likely be dead in an hour.
Wow, I had no idea.
Well, of course I'm honored to be helpful, but don't we still have to do something to help Director Gordov?
Damn straight you do! What are you waiting for? I know you can figure out an antidote. They say genius recognize genius, right? And you're two of the greatest geniuses in human history. Then put all that genius to work and help me already!
I'm terribly sorry, but for once, there's nothing we can do. We analyzed Konyaskaya's poison, and I'm afraid she's chosen some, frankly troublesome ingredients. Its base sequence does not exist on Earth in 2020. As such, there is no way for humanity in its current state to reproduce it. Which also means it's impossible to formulate an antidote.
Its base sequence doesn't exist on Earth in 2020? So, Trismegistus 2 is telling us, yeah? We did determine that the poison they ingested is some sort of natural substance. But we have had no success determining what plant it was extracted from. All we know is its name, Xianzhuai Ming Mai, or Immortal Decline, and the fact that it was used a number of times in the past. I can tell you that its name is likely of Taoist origin, considering all its references to immortality, and that the plant it comes from is medicinal. But unfortunately, that is all.
If it doesn't exist on Earth in 2020, then...
This can't be happening. Then my chances for receiving an antidote are 0.
Not to worry, that's what you got me for. We may not be able to reduce the poison just yet, but since we know it is of Taoist origin, it most likely comes from China, so our next step is clear. Just because it's gone in the modern era doesn't mean we're out of options. After all, we've got a whole different China we know nothing about, just waiting to be explored. A China that followed a completely different path than the one in proper human history. So I am absolutely, completely certain that we will find an antidote to that poison in the Chinese Lostbelt. Even if we don't, we can learn what it's made from by studying the local ley lines. As luck would have it, I have just managed to summon the perfect guide for us. Come on in! This is a momentous occasion. The very first helper we summoned was Chaldea Spear Urchin Growl. Faster than the wind, cuter than fire, this Lotus Spear's charms even melted the heart of Tai Yi Zenren. That's right! It's the artificial Bao Bei. Made in ancient China, the marshal of the central altar, Crown Prince Neza. Da Vinci, that intro is wasted on me. It's embarrassing. But I am honored to be the first resummoned. Ni hao, happy day. So fast, Mash. I have heard what happened. You did so well surviving that. I will help you from now on. I will work 3 times harder to make up for last time.
Thank you, Neza.
That's wonderful! Da Vinci, you beautiful goddess! I knew glasses suited you! Then you'll go to the Chinese Lostbelt to save me? Fantastic! The Atlantic Lostbelt can wait! Besides, we need to deal with all of the cryptos sooner or later! Prepare to go immediately, everyone! We're invading the Chinese Lostbelt to take back proper human history!
The next Lostbelt...
No, I understand how you feel, Master, but Director Gordov's life is at stake. We have to deal with all of the Lostbelts, no matter what may be awaiting us in them. After all, we're not wanderers. We have our own world, with our own history.
Yeah.
Alright, I understand, and I have no objections. This should be a good learning experience. Besides, you are still technically poisoned yourself, so Frost. Just because it is not affecting you right now does not necessarily mean it will not later. We really should neutralize it.
Wonderful! This is tremendously promising! What are we waiting for? Let's get the boy ready to...
Not so fast. There's something else we need to clear up first. How did Konyaskaya enter the Wandering Sea? We need to understand that so we know it can't happen again. It should be impossible to warp into the Wandering Sea from the outside, since it's impossible to see and its coordinates are always changing. And yet, she popped inside like it was nothing. Which means...
there must have been something she was able to use as an anchor. Just to clear up any doubts, Miss Scion, I don't suppose Konyaskaya was originally from the Wandering Sea. Or perhaps she had visited here at least once before.
No chance. This was definitely her first time here.
Then that leaves only one possibility. One of us summoned her. Or rather, more precisely, one of us possesses something with some connection to her.
Something connected to her. What do you think it could be? for this. I doubt it's anything related to magecraft. Could be as simple as a pair of gloves or a hairbrush. Whatever it is, I'm guessing it's something small that contains a fragment of Konyaskaya herself. Director Gordoff, is something wrong? I'm so sorry, Your Excellency. I appreciate your kindness, really. But I've been hurt too many times in the past. I just can't bring myself to trust anyone else again. Even though I really want to.
Yes, of course. I understand completely, darling. Rest assured, I am a patient man. I can wait as long as I must to melt the ice around your heart. In the meantime, you may use my connections as you see fit. I'm not known as Musa the Phoenix for nothing, after all. My passion is as hot and sultry as my namesake. I swear to you that one day my undying love will find a perfect mink coat to warm your frozen heart. Why aren't you saying anything?
Forgive me, Your Excellency. I was just so touched by what you said. Here, Your Excellency, I want you to have this lipstick. Pretend it's me. Keep it close to your heart where no one can ever see it. I know how awful I can be, so I'm afraid I may end up disappointing you over and over and over.
Over and over.
But please remember this. If you swear to hold on to that lipstick forever and ever, I promise you that one day I will return to you, no matter what fate may have in store. Smuggling up even closer.
Yes, of course I'll remember. I have faith in you, Konyaskaya. I always will.
Uh-oh, that's why.
Oh!
Is that lipstick?
What? Why, you... You stupid thing!
Oh, that's what's causing the tracking device.
So it turns out it was actually Gordy's fault.
What a sad story.
Anyway, that's one problem taken care of. We finished investigating the base and removed all traces of Konyaskaya or anything she left behind. We should no longer have to worry about unexpected visits from her in the future. Correct, Miss Scion?
Yeah, she had one shot at taking you out, and she blew it. I would venture a guess that she is none too pleased right now. But you know what they say? What goes around comes around.
Oh, I don't have time to feel sorry for myself. Holmes, Da Vinci. As I was saying, we need to leave for the Chinese Lostbelt immediately. I trust the border is ready. We only have 10 days to find this plan, and we can't waste a single minute. Come to think of it, are you sure we'll make it in time? I'm not already done for, am I?
Don't worry, I haven't thought about that. I just need to run it by Scion. Scion, you designed a paper moon. Do you think it'd be possible to zero sail from here all the way to the Chinese Lostbelt's border? Especially since I'm guessing Captain there is actually... Shut it, Da Vinci. I can't stand having other people share my secrets. Of course I'll keep my mouth shut. As long as you help us out, that's all that matters. In my estimation, the zero sail should let us jump from the Wandering Sea straight to China. We still have to worry about getting inside from there, of course. But I figured the actual trip to the Lostbelt would take less than a day. What do you think, Scion? Am I totally off base? Nope. All sounds right to me, Da Vinci. No wonder you are Chaldea's, or rather, humanity's guardian. I would have suggested the same thing. You were just quicker about it. The Atlas Institute would be glad to get you to the Chinese Lostbelt. Right, Captain? I'm not part of the Atlas Institute, but I suppose I can help. I'll have you to the Chinese Lostbelt in less than half a day. After that, it's all up to you guys. So Frost,
Thanks, Captain.
Boom, boom! Guess we all agreed then. Okay, everyone, get ready to head out. I estimate you should have room in the border to fit supplies for about 15 days. I will open up the Wandering Seas dock in an hour, so please make sure you're all set by then. Your next destination is the Chinese Lostbelt. Your objective is to obtain some Xiang Shui Ming Mai, investigate the Lostbelt, and completely cure your two poisoned personnel. Oh, and for the bonus round, you can defeat the Lostbelt's king, cut down the Tree of Emptiness, and take out the Crypta. I know you are working against the clock as well as any hostiles you encounter, but try to stay calm. At this point, any differences the Atlas Institute or the Wandering Sea may have had no longer matter. From this point on, I hereby dub the Wandering Sea Chaldea number 2, Novum Chaldea, as Trismegistus 2's caretaker. I will do everything I can to support you. Alright then. It is time to get this operation, this order to explore and decipher Lostbelt number 3 underway. Good luck with everything, and I will see you all when you get back.
Yes. Gordoff saved the gates. Yeah, and he got poisoned himself, and so am I. The synchronized intellect nation SIM. There's no time to waste. The party heads to the Chinese Lostbelt in search of an antidote. Yes. Fucking Kanyanskaya poisoned us.